Hello listeners, this is Lee Price.
This is Will Ford from Football 365.
And you're listening smartly to At the Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast, although I would describe it as the Chelsea FC podcast.
Magical from Eden Hazard! Kai Havertz in the Champions League final! Ivanovic! In the middle, it's just behind him, but it's tapped in by Hakim. Matic with the ball driver! Matic takes the net off!
It's time for another episode of At the Bridge Pod, your number one Chelsea FC podcast. Coming up on this episode,
in our last 5 Premier League games against Brentford, we have taken just 2 points. Oh, welcome back everyone to another episode of At the Bridge Pod. I'm joined in the virtual room filled with some lines. I've got Berth, I've got Chris, it's the OG3. What were your highlights from the 2 days that we call the weekend?
I finally played football after about 1 million years of not playing, which was good. That was entertaining. We lost, but it was still good to get back on the pitch and just play a bit of football. Really, it was nice to kick a ball.
Was that anything to do with like injuries?
No, well, I mean, to be fair, I haven't actually been at football for a while.
Okay.
Like, been away and stuff. So, and the weather as well. So, I only played like 30 minutes just to get myself back into it. But it's still good to get out there and play again.
That's fair. That's fair. What about you, Chris?
My highlight. Do you know what? My highlight was Macario scoring.
Oh yes, cannot disagree there. Which we will touch on. I mean,
that was my highlight. You could just the emotion in her and the rest of the team as well.
Yeah, 100%.
Really.
Chris,
nice
can I ask
to
a
see.
question? Chris, can I ask a genuine question? Just
You
us
can.
three talking here. We're not like broadcasting to anyone at all. Just us three. Do you think you'll ever do anything for your weekends that's exciting? Or
No, I wouldn't have thought so because
no, that's fine. I just want to know.
most of my weekends are the same. So
I'll be honest, you and Ollie are like one of the same when it comes to this question. Like
they are the same person.
Go skydiving next week. Just do something jazzy. Just make something up. Do something.
yeah, what when you've got 2 kids, but if you don't have time for exciting weekends,
Wow, that's harsh on your kids. Wow, I bet they'll be pleased to hear that.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
I mean, my highlight was actually heading over to the MLS, because I've always said it, that a team can be good, but can they do it on a snowy day in Utah? I've always said it.
Oh my word,
And
how bad was that?
That's where I head, because Real Salt Lake versus LAFC was the highlight. It was a snow game, boys. Honestly, I loved every second watching that game. It was one of those games where it looked gorgeous, but you wouldn't want to be out there playing in it. No.
Did you see the meme as well of Hugo Lloris about? I bet this is what he thought when he was signing for LA.
I mean, they get snow in LA. I mean, there was like a famous thing last year, I think it was. I mean, they delayed the game by I think it was like an hour or so. And then it got slightly delayed in the actual in-game because there was thunder snow at one point. Oh my word. It was incredible. Incredible to watch. Not great to play in, I'm sure.
You know what I thought when I said that would never ever get played in England.
No, we're too like, oh no, call it off.
Not a chance would that get
no
played
way.
in England.
No way.
As I've got more mature, I've kind of found out that the reason that games get called off is it's not just because the pitch is covered, it's because of the safety of getting to the ground, which I understand that. I understand that. I would still love to ski in though. Oh, right. You know what? We're doing the same thing, but slightly different. There's no point in me hitting the news drop because it's not news. We're going straight to a double match report. The WSL returned, as Chris touched on earlier, from an international break. We took on Leicester. Here is the match report. Title rivals Manchester City and Arsenal both secured wins earlier this weekend, so the pressure was on the Blues to claim maximum points in their visit to the East Midlands. There was obviously, we lost in our last WSL game, didn't we? It was against Manchester City, but we needed to bounce back. And the last 3 times that we've lost in the WSL, we have come back and won the following game. And the match, it started quite brightly for Chelsea, with Gura Wrighton coming close to scoring within the first 15 seconds. It was a great start. It was denied by a save from the Leicester keeper. But despite Chelsea's early pressure, Leicester did threaten with chances of their own, and Hannah Hampton was forced into action with a series of good saves. However, Chelsea broke the deadlock in the 38th minute when Bjorn found the back of the net. 5 minutes later, Ramirez extended the lead with an absolute superb individual effort. Absolute must-see. Really incredible how she got the ball from the halfway line, and a brilliant solo effort. After the half, Chelsea dominated again, Kankovic adding a third goal past the hour mark, and then Macario, oh my word, been on the pitch for 6 minutes, sealed the victory with the fourth goal late in the game on her debut after so long out injured. Great to see. Despite obviously Leicester's efforts, we kept the clean sheet. 4-0 was a convincing 4-0, and it reaffirms those title credentials in the WSL. So Leicester 0, Chelsea 4, and it was a huge win, adding much needed goals to our difference for the race for the title. Chris, I felt that this was our best performance in quite some time.
Yeah, agreed. We first time in a while that we've played with a real intensity, I would say, and looked a little bit more fluid, looked a little bit more like a team, with the new players clicking into place now. And I thought Ramirez was outstanding.
Yes.
It was an all round really, really good performance in what could have been a really tricky game after an international break.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to do it straight away, straight in. There's time to visit the Stat Drop Club because Myra Ramirez versus Leicester, her game by numbers, 72 minutes played, 1 goal, 10 accurate passes, 10 chances created, 29 touches, 2 successful dribbles, 8 duels won, the most in the game. Myra's been catching my eye lately. When she first came on the scene for us, I wasn't quite sure what to expect. And that was especially judging just solely by the numbers, because you never know how a player can transition into the WSL. You never know. But she's proving all her doubters wrong, game by game. I mean, what stands out for me for that game as well was her strength and her ability to just cover ground across the pitch. The goal, the strength she showed, and the finishing to round the keeper in, the composure, it was just class, And if she continues to sharpen up in her finishing in front of goal, and if that just elevates her game further. Wow, we're lucky.
Yeah, and I think she'll only get better as well once everyone else in the team gets used to playing with her. Because I think, obviously, when you make a signing, they have to get used to how the team plays, but the team also have to get used to how she plays, and she is a different sort of striker to Sam Kerr. Yeah. So I think there has been a bit of adapting to that, but I think this game, it looked like they're starting to understand the sort of runs that she'll make, the sort of balls that she wants a little bit better, and I think she's only going to get better from here. Yeah,
and that is what we want to see. And you touched on it earlier, Catarina Macario, when she steps on that field, you sort of felt a bit of an energy shift, Yeah. And then when she found the back of the net, man, I was on my feet, because she had to feel so damn good about not only being back but scoring on her debut. And I think, I've read somewhere, was it 20 months injured? Something insane. Yeah, it was
nearly 2 years. Nearly 2 years, yeah.
Man, that's incredible. And to come back, I mean, let's obviously park our expectations. She's not going to score every game. She's still coming back from a very serious injury. However, not a bad way to come back.
It's not a bad start.
No. Jess Carr as well, I think, deserves a shout out for her performance. Quite composed.
Very good.
Increasingly confident. And you know what? In a general scope, I sort of felt Emma Hayes and her clear adept scouting team have once again showcased their eye for talent with obviously the acquisitions of Natalie Bjorn and obviously Ramirez. Neither were highly sought after by other clubs, I don't feel. And yet they've come in, made an immediate impact. And that's just testament. You have to praise this, because the success of the new signings just underscores how astute our recruitment strategy has been. And it's beautiful to see it work. It really is.
Definitely.
What did you think overall, Berth, of the whole game?
I mean, I think it's a great performance. I think it's been our best one for a while. I just think it was a much needed win. Ramirez, I thought was fantastic, and hopefully this will build some momentum really, and just keep going. It's probably the most, what's the word I'm looking for here? Professional performance I've seen for a while from the women's Chelsea team. So, so hopefully that continues. It's just a great win to get, like confidence builder, and hopefully go on to the next game and again just kick on from there really. But superb performance. Can't really fault anyone, to be honest.
No, I mean it's kicking off March in the best way possible because the schedule's a bit wild. 8 games, including that obviously Leicester game. You got City in the League Cup, Everton in the FA Cup, Arsenal, Ajax, West Ham, Ajax again, and then finishing off with Spurs. Yes. Man City obviously in the League Cup this Thursday, so we'll probably be doing some kind of double game review of that match and Everton next Tuesday because we're recording on Thursday. And of course, Monday night football for the men's team means we're not recording Monday night. So yeah, that's going to be a very bumper show. But I'm a bit nervous for this League Cup game. I'm a little bit nervous. It's just so much back-to-back games.
Yeah, it really is, and I think Summit's probably going to give at some point in one of those games, and I just don't know which one you'd rather it happen in.
Yeah,
because everything's so tight. You know, cup games, if it happens in them, you obviously you're out. And I literally don't think we can afford to drop any points in the league.
No, I agree. I agree.
And the thing is, it's not a 2-legged semi-final, is it? It's one leg, and it's at City.
Yes, exactly.
So, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. So we'll see how it plays. We'll see how it plays. Right, time for the other match report now, and this one is sponsored by this.
Oh no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah!
Yeah, they stung us. They really did sting us. I mean, oh my word. I've got a fact. Before we go straight into winners and losers, I found out that we've played in the last 5 Premier League encounters against Brentford. We picked up 2 points. Wow.
That's terrible.
I didn't think it was that shit, but 2 points. Wow. They've had.
We do struggle with them. Wow. It's weird. They're such a weird team because I feel that Brentford are one of those teams that they always seem to do well against the top sides. And for whatever reason, they just.
We're not a top side.
Well, no, but you know what I'm getting at. Like, they always seem to just do well. Like they always seem to just get something out of these so-called top 6 teams. Like I'm not saying we are, but the so-called top 6. So just real weird team, Brentford.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, I have got 2 winners. I did find 2. I don't know if you did.
I've got 3. I've got
bloody hell! What?
Well, to be fair, one of them
one of them's Brentford.
Yeah.
Do you actually want to go straight into my first winner?
Yeah.
A bit of a random one. Okay, I'm going to go for Johan Wissa.
Oh, he's on mine. He's on mine.
Yeah.
Because I take his goal away from it. Fantastic goal, by the way. Unreal goal. But I actually think every time I've watched Brentford and he's played, I think he's absolutely brilliant. He must be one of the most underrated players Brentford have got, definitely. I just think he's, every time I watch him, he plays really well, got a touch of class about him. He scores whenever he plays. And I just think he's very, very underrated in not just Brentford, but the whole Premier League. So, yeah, you got to give him his props, really.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, what a good goal. Scored in the 69th minute.
Nice.
But I'm not happy about it. That's a catchphrase I'm pulling, but I enjoyed it. I did. And that was his 3rd attempt. I said this to Chris yesterday when I spoke to him. That was his 3rd attempt to the game trying to pull it off. And our defense just sort of went, yeah, we'll help you out. They didn't make a tackle. They did not make a tackle during that cross.
Awful.
Oh my word. I wasn't happy. Good goal though. My second winner was our away fans, just because some top class chants were sung, none of which we can repeat on this program because we're going to get told off if we use those. But you could certainly you could hear it. You could hear it on every form of audio you could listen to if you were listening to on the stream or properly. It was very loud, and for the away support to be that loud, those are the key fans. You know, the away support are always seen as like, you know, that's your barometer. If they turn on you, oh boy. Yeah. And yeah. Go on, Berth. Who's other winners?
So my other winners, one was Malo Gusto.
Yeah, he was
Good
my only
cross.
winner.
Good cross.
I think he was our best player. Yes, Saturday. I think he was our best player. Looked lively. I think his crossing is unbelievable.
Really good.
This, I think it's so consistent, and I think crossing is one of them things where it's very rare to get a consistently good crosser. Trent's a great crosser. Reece James, when he plays, I think, is a great crosser. And Malo Gusto, I'd put up there as a real good, consistent crosser. That ball for Jackson was sensational. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Perfectly weighted. Perfect pace to it. Pinpoint, just fantastic. I think this lad is really. You know what? You could argue that he's actually been our top 3 best player of the season. I put it Gallagher, Palmer, and then you could argue Gusto's number 3. But yeah, I'm always so impressed with him. He's had a couple of shaky games recently, but he's back to his best against Brentford. So yeah, he had to be a winner for me.
And he was a winner for you, Chris, you just said?
He was my only winner.
Your only winner.
Yeah, I think he was the only one who played pretty well throughout the whole game. I thought some of the players was okay in parts, but then was absolutely shit in other parts. Whereas Gusto, even though I thought second half he wasn't as good as the first half, he was still good. He didn't drop off like the rest of the team did, so that's why he was a winner for me.
Berth, your final one.
I thought Caicedo actually played quite well. I think.
Okay.
I think he showed me more than anyone else did. He was dog shit first half though. I think second half he was a lot better. I think second
half he was better. First half he literally couldn't pass wind.
I just thought, passing aside, I thought tackling wise, I thought he was actually very good. I actually thought he was all right, and I thought of the midfield 3, I thought he was very good in the second half, especially. First half, all right, fair enough, but I was trying to get another winner. I had to get.
Yeah, I
can
see.
He was.
You forced one. You forced one out.
He was like the one that kind of had to get in there. Best of a bad bunch.
Right, losers. I'm breaking tradition here. I'm so sorry. I've got 4. I found 4.
Sorry, Chris has got probably about 12.
He's got 11. He's got 11, and I wouldn't blame him.
I've got 4.
Okay, Berth.
But so my first one's Ben Chilwell.
He's on mine. But
don't know what's happened to him. What used to be so good about Ben Chilwell is that he was consistent. He'd always give you a 7 out of 10. Now he's consistent, but he's giving you 2 out of 10, and that's a real concern considering he's the captain at the moment. And when you want someone to pull you out of the trenches, he's not doing that. I think he's really poor in possession. He's not getting up and like creating as much as he used to. I don't know if the injuries caused him to just slow down a bit, but he just lacks that sharpness that sort of was so good about him. But yeah, he was really, really poor again against Brentford. Really bad.
It's been a rough week for Chilwell because it started with him obviously suggesting that the Carabao Cup final was potentially more important than our 2021 Champions League win. And then he obviously showed that it was more important, didn't he, by having pointless scraps to Liverpool's academy on the pitch. It's not, that wasn't good.
Chilwell has caught the Poch disease of he's making it worse by talking. To stop talking.
Oh yeah,
because every time he opens his mouth, it's terrible.
His performance was painful at times. I mean, he was getting targeted all game on that left side because Brentford knew what to do, and it doesn't help when you got Ian Maatsen scoring goals for Dortmund, looking quite good. Look, I get it, and Berth just touched on it. Chilwell is coming back from a hamstring injury. And he's obviously playing in this sort of modified formation Poch is playing. But damn, we need the experienced players, the older players to step up. And especially obviously when they're on the pitch. And on that note, it was wild to see He's the captain. Berth again pointed out he's the captain for the game. And he was endorsing Jackson's celebration for the goal. And Conor Gallagher, I've put this in my notes because Conor Gallagher comes in. And he was the voice of reason. He brought Jackson back down to earth. They've got to stay.
But Mike, I'll stop you there. You know why that is? Because Conor Gallagher is the true captain of that side.
Yeah. I mean, it was 1-0 in the 35th minute. Who are you shushing?
Exactly.
Who are you shushing?
You can do that if it's the last minute winner.
Yeah. You can't. I mean, I only heard chants from the away end from the whole of that game, to be honest. But 1-0 in the 35th. I'm not the celebration police. Celebrate, enjoy your moment. I loved when Disasi was crowd surfing. It's the 35th minute. And it backfired. It backfired because, didn't turn out what we wanted. So,
it did not.
Chris, who's a winner? A loser, even.
A loser. Disasi.
Yeah.
Thought he was really bad again. And I think since the Man City game, I think he's fell off a cliff again. I don't know what's happened to him. I think some people went a little bit over the top with the Man City game. As good as he was in that game, I think people's now expectation is he's going to play like that every week, and that's just unrealistic.
Yeah.
And I think that hasn't helped him. But I just think he's gone back to being really sloppy and lazy and not closing people down. And there was one moment I'm pretty sure it was in the first half, where he went to win the first header and missed it. And it come back towards their goal. And the player ran at him and come inside, and he just didn't go and close him down and let him have the shot from the edge of the box. He didn't at any point try and close him down or block the shot. He just stood watching him. And I thought, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And I just think he's another one whose levels just fell off for some reason.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to jump in with my second loser on, because you said that, defending. I know we've had our injury issues, but when they're kind of allergic to the ball, I'm seeing these top players let balls bounce. There's no spatial awareness. There's no tracking of balls in the air, and they don't know how to bring the ball down. You just said about Disasi. I've rewatched that equaliser, and he didn't just. What was he doing, my man? What were you thinking? You can't let the ball sail past you like you're watching a parade. You got to make a tackle. I love that dude. I do love him. But that's a rookie mistake, and it led to a goal. So frustrating.
Yeah. Shocking.
Berth, loser.
I'm gonna go for Trevor Chalobah.
Best defender on form at the moment.
Is he?
It's not saying a lot, is it?
No, I don't think he's quite. Don't get me wrong. I think Disasi was poor, but I think Chalobah was poor. Ever since he's come back into the team, I've sort of gone, you know what? I don't think you're going to cut it here, because he's just been. I think he's extremely clumsy. I don't think he's great on the ball. I think positionally he's terrible. I definitely think if you're going to play a back three, I don't think it fills me with confidence playing that central role. And Thiago Silva would, but Trevor Chalobah doesn't. And I think that just, I'm not saying he played awfully against Brentford, but I just think it highlighted to me that I don't want him playing as that central role in the back three. And so I had to sort of make him a loser for that.
No, that's fair enough. Chris, give us another one.
Enzo Fernandez. I will caveat this by I thought first half he actually had a good game. First, because sometimes now I do my winners and losers at half time, and then if they're still there at the end of the game, then that's the list they stay on.
Fair.
And he was close to going on the winners list.
Wow.
At half time.
That'd have been nice.
So, but second half, when the game was getting away from us and you're looking for your midfield to take control of the game, he disappeared again. And this is my main problem. We don't have, and I said this a couple of weeks ago, the midfield don't take control of the game. They don't slow the tempo down. They don't up the tempo when we're losing, and they don't slow it down when we're winning and the opposition are on top. They just play at one pace, and it's not good enough for this level to do that. And Enzo's the one who's meant to be the player in there dictating play, and he doesn't. When we need him to, he disappears, and he disappears far too often, and he disappeared second half massively.
Berth, give us another one.
I mean, you could pick loads. I'm going to go a bit of a random one. I'm going to go for Mudryk, not because he played badly or anything when he came on, but he played really well against Leeds in that number 10 role, and he gets dropped again. Gets barely any minutes again. And you just think, this manager just doesn't trust me. And you've got to feel like in a game which we weren't creating anything really. We had a few glimpses here and there, but for the large part, it was the odd chance. And Brentford looked comfortable really defending against, especially in the second half. Why am I not starting? Why am I not getting more minutes? I just feel that Mudryk, there's no trust in Mudryk. And I think, again, for that alone, he has to be a loser. Because it's clear that Pochettino doesn't trust him. He doesn't. He could argue he doesn't rate him. Now, I'm not saying Mykhailo Mudryk is this 10 out of 10 player that should be playing every week. I disagree with that. He shouldn't be. But he had a great game the other day against Leeds. So why not throw him in number 10 role? Or why not throw him in on the wing? Because we didn't play with a left winger pretty much the first half. So why not throw him in there? Why not try something with him? Because he confidence was up after scoring, after playing well.
Yeah.
And you bench him again, his confidence is gone again. So
and he's a confidence player.
Exactly.
My third loser was the form table, because form counts for little in the grand scheme of things when it comes to us. You know, our record, what was our record? Well, 3 wins, 1 draw and 1 defeat. Brentford had 1 victory and 4 defeats in the last 5. And yet they defied those expectations. You know, if you watch that game between the two, especially that second half, that's the key thing there. You know, you'd have anticipated that the forms were mixed up there, because prior to this, obviously, Brentford had managed a mere 6 points from a possible 36. That's their their struggling form, and their entire first team defense sidelined, and they hardly on paper seemed like formidable opponents, and yet somehow Chelsea managed to bring a water pistol to a firefight and make them 4 defenders look great. And that's no disrespect to them, but you know, we should be beating and scoring goals against that 4. And yet here we are discussing that we didn't. We scored twice, of course, but we should be winning that game, and we didn't. So form meant nothing. When they say charity FC, we've been handing out points and we've done it again, you know?
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
So I've got 1 loser left, but I don't know how many you've all got now.
I'm all out.
I've got 2.
Go on, Chris. I'm ready. I'm ready to hear losers 15 and 16.
To be fair, Nicholas Jackson could have made this list, because I thought, goal aside, he was dreadful.
Yeah.
Wasn't he, though? Like, aside from the goal, he was shit with it. And he could have got here for the step over thing alone.
To be fair to him, though,
so good.
I think if ever a game summed up Nicholas Jackson, it'd be Brentford, because the header was superb.
Yeah, so good.
But then it can be an absolute calamity at times. You just never know what you're going to get with him. So,
but my actual third loser is
Chris?
Hello?
Chris, just stop talking then.
Wow, this is like X Factor all over again.
Oh, he's coming back. I don't know what happened there.
Is he coming back?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, Enzo didn't like that, did he? He muted your mic. Go on. What were you saying?
Cole Palmer.
Oh, wow.
I think his impact on games, I know he still got an assist and it was a really good cross.
It was.
But Disasi scored a goal and he's still on my losers list. So, yeah, his impact on games just doesn't seem the same past couple of weeks. And the main issue I have with Palmer at the moment is he looks a bit lazy. I don't know whether anyone else has picked up on this.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He's looking a little bit lazy, almost like he thinks he's a cut above everyone else, so doesn't have to do the work. Almost like you get the ball to me and I'll do something, which is great, but we need you to do the work, mate, because the rest of the team's shit. So I need you to do some work too.
The problem is with Cole Palmer, I think that's just the way he looks. I think he looks a bit arrogant. He looks a bit laid back. He looks like, I think he does work for the team, but I think you look at him, you think, well, you know, is your heart really in this? And it's one of them. He's so laid back for his own good. He's got that bit of arrogance about him that you think, do you think you're better than everyone else? Or do you think you're too good to track back? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I just think it's like some of his best games have been where you can see his energy levels really high. Like if you think back to the Man City game, not the one at Stamford Bridge, the 4-4.
Yeah.
Like he was outstanding that game, tracking back, winning the ball back, making things happen in his own half as well as in the opposition's half, and looked like he was really enthusiastic for the game. And just the past couple of games, he just looks a little bit unenthusiastic. Like, how much does he actually want to be here? And he's got to stop shooting. Like every time he gets the ball, he comes in on his left foot and tries to have a shot, and it's like, Cole, stop shooting, mate. You can't shoot every single time you have the ball. Just little things with him. I just think he needs to be careful that he doesn't get dragged down by the rest of these.
My final loser is the halftime team talks. Someone get me a microphone, please, and a backstage pass to our halftime team talks, because I want to know what Pochettino's saying. I want to know what he's cooking up in that dressing room, because every time I watch us, it's like the other team come out the break with a whole new story. And yet we're still stuck on chapter 1. I mean, either the other managers are smarter than Poch, or Poch is just sort of showing our team maybe the ending to Marley and me. I don't know, because nobody should be celebrating 1 point against a team that struggled the majority of this season. I mean, last episode I did say that maybe it's not all on Poch, but after this game, that his game plan is about as real as a Loch Ness monster. You know, that's saying something. It doesn't seem to be there. I don't see a game plan, especially that second half. What was the plan? Because I don't know. Did he?
To be fair, that leads me perfectly into my last loser, which is just Poch. I think it was another case of, you're right, second half, I don't know what's happening. It seems like, again, the players was told to sit off and protect the 1-0, because we gave all the impetus to Brentford at the start of the second half. We didn't try and do anything. We just sat off and hoped for the best. And another one who, after a game like that, say as little as possible, because he's made it worse by talking again. You know, talking about he doesn't feel the love from the fans and he doesn't have to, almost slagging the fans off in a way. And then talking about, I thought it was a really good performance. No, it wasn't.
No, it definitely
wasn't a really good performance.
No.
Yeah. People talking about missed chances again. Jackson went round the keeper, should have scored. Jackson's chance, his header, the actual goal, is only a half chance because it's such a good header. And then we had the Sassies in the second half. That was the only chances we had in the game. Brentford scored twice and hit the post twice. So I don't know where this notion comes from that it was a good performance and it was just down to missed chances. And then talking about, when he said the line as well of, I think people have got to remember that it's like 5 games unbeaten. And it's like, you're such a loser. Fuck me.
Spurs mentality, isn't it? Spurs mentality.
It really is. And it like coming away with a draw going, well, at least we didn't lose. It's great. But you've got to win, mate. That's what you have to do. You have to win games, because draws aren't helping us in the league table anyway. So it's win or nothing. So yeah, his whole attitude just screams loser.
Fair enough. Can't disagree there. Emoji time. I went with B emoji. We got stung. I feel like I said this before when we played them and lost. They've got 4 points off of this season, haven't they?
Yeah.
At least it isn't Southampton 6.
No, that's a little positive, I suppose.
Not saying they're going down, just simply putting it out there. What have you got?
I've gone for the sleeping emoji because I'm just bored of this team to let me down.
Yeah. I'll go with slapping yourself on the head, like, because that's what you feel like doing to some of these players. But also, like, you just sit there, watch, and think, what am I watching here?
Yeah.
Oh man.
True.
Line of the week. We had Jackson.
I think I did all right here. Yeah, that was mine.
Gallagher.
That's all right.
Caicedo and Madueke. Well, did Madueke play?
No,
he did he?
We made 2 subs all get. That was another thing that annoyed me. 2 subs.
Yeah, wow.
Great.
But apparently he hasn't got the options, Mikey, has he? Can't
No.
rest him in field.
Yeah,
He hasn't got one, even though he's got one sat behind him.
Yeah, two goalkeepers on the bench. Not this time, but two goalkeepers on the bench at all times, and that makes everyone.
Yeah.
I look, if you put in Castledine, I don't think the team's going to suffer for having him maybe get 10 minutes. He might even score. You never know.
Exactly.
But, oh well. Move to questions. Quaresma's questions. Dinobes has asked, as much as I want to give Poch time, the poor form in the second half, is it time? I'm assuming to sack him.
It's difficult because who'd you get in now? You know what I mean? I just think.
You didn't see the top 10 of odds, did you? Jurgen Klopp said it.
The thing is, right, I don't think any sane manager that's at a job at the minute would come in now at Chelsea. I think end of the season, see where we're at, then take it from there. But no one's going to come in now unless you're Jose Mourinho, I think. So I'd just say wait until the end of the season.
The dream.
Yeah.
What?
I would only sack him for Jose. That's the truth. Because I agree with you, Beth. I think it's pointless getting anyone else in because it'd only be interim because no one's going to take over. The permanent manager isn't going to come in and take over now.
Exactly.
I don't trust this board to get it right anyway. They'll appoint someone stupid. It'll be De Zerbi or that.
I really don't want. I don't want De Zerbi.
And then
I'll give Amorim some credit. He's done all right. Because Benfica and Porto. I mean, yesterday Porto destroyed Benfica, but I wouldn't be upset at Amorim because he's done all right, and he's done all right in the Champions League. So,
and the only reason why I would get rid of Poch from Mourinho is because Poch seems to be dividing the fans even more every week, and I think we need someone who's going to come in and unite everybody. And I think if you bring Mourinho in, I think you get the fans back on side, which means then the fans back the players, they back the manager, which means the atmosphere improves, the tone improves, and the players feel that then that they're getting that hope and that affection from the fans. And I just think that's what changes instantly. And Mourinho wouldn't come in and get us top four, and no one's saying he would, but it would feel more like a united fan base again, because at the minute it doesn't.
It's the Spurs element, try. It'll always be there. It'll always be there, and that's
he's Benitez, isn't he? He's Rafa Benitez.
He won a trophy for us, and still, I don't think everyone goes, "Great, exactly, great manager."
And no one liked him, and he had the same problem. That's why it was never going to work long term with Benitez.
Yeah, right. Isaac has asked, "Do you think Wesley Fofana slots back into our squad once he's fit?"
But Wesley Fofana's not ever going to be fit. He's not a footballer.
That's what I mean. Is he ever going to be fit? Look, when he was at Leicester, he was superb. If he didn't have his injuries, superb. He probably would.
That could apply to a lot of our players.
But Reece James is fantastic. But if he's not available, then is he really that good? So
he was so good at Wigan, but he just couldn't stay fit at Chelsea. Christian Nkunku was so good at Leipzig. He just couldn't stay fit at Chelsea.
Lavia at Southampton.
He was so good at Southampton. He just couldn't stay fit at Chelsea. Yeah. Right. Well, we'll move and end the Monday show with a game of the Archie Thompson's Top Trumps. And this week's category is Instagram. And this is a bit of a different one now. I'm going to give you a player and the amount of followers they have on Instagram. And you got to tell me if they have more or less than the previous player.
Ooh,
and this is good because we start with Phil Neville, currently manager of Portland Timbers, and he's got 532,000 followers. So, Berth, I want to know, do you think James Milner's got more or less than that number?
Ooh, I reckon more. James Milner's got to have more.
He's got 3.7 million. Wow.
Big up, Milner.
Wow.
Chris, I've timed this well because you're getting Enzo.
Oh, God.
Has he got more or less?
He's got a massive cult following, isn't he? So I'm going to say more.
He has. He's got 10.5 million,
wow.
Of course.
Wow. Wow.
Berth, Lewandowski.
Oh, he's got to have more, surely.
35.4.
Yeah, thought so. That's a lot. 35.4
That is a lot.
What about Bruno Fernandes?
A lot of people hate him, though. That's the only problem. He plays for Man United though, and they've fan base is massive, so I'm going to say more.
He doesn't. He's got 8.8.
Yeah, well,
That is
that's a bit low.
shocking.
No
Shit,
one.
that is.
It's essentially nobody. Enzo has more.
Wow.
How about that?
That's terrible. If you play for Man United as well, that is awful.
Well, here's a
Wow.
former Red Devil, De Gea. How many? More or less than 8.8, Berth?
I'm gonna go less.
Less. It's 15.6.
Wow, you'd have
Wow.
thought Bruno would have more than De Gea, surely.
Yeah, you would have. You would have.
Harry Kane.
Oh.
You got 15.
What was
15.6.
more?
Yes,
Yeah,
16.8.
gotta be.
Berth,
I
you
would have more than that though.
Yeah, I thought it would have been more than that.
Yeah.
the next three are all former Blues. So, Berth, you've got Christian Pulisic.
Than 16 million less. Gotta be less, surely.
Yeah, it's 7.9. Now, here's a good one, Chris, to end for you. Cesar Azpilicueta. More or less than 7.9.
7.9. Yeah, it's quite a popular guy, isn't he? Let's go more. I hope it's more.
He's not even as popular as Milner. He's got 3.6.
Oh, poor Dave.
Big up, Dave. Big up, Dave.
Now, you end the show, Berth. You've got Fernando Torres. More or
It's
less.
gotta be
than-
more.
It is. It's
Gotta be more.
12.9. He's more popular than Bruno Fernandes.
Yeah, he's a nicer bloke, that's why.
Oh, good old Fernando. We love him. And he loves the gym. And we love him for that as well. Right. Thank you for listening to this episode. Treat yourself well. There's no midweek action for the men's team. There is for the women's team against Manchester City. So we will be back on that day, on Thursday this week. What will it be? We'll tune in and find out. So till then, that is us signing off. You've been listening to At The Bridge Pod, a Chelsea FC podcast. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram by searching for At The Bridge Pod. And if you're listening on Apple or Spotify, leaving us a review is always appreciated.